Have you ever noticed how, as we get older, we start speaking less and listening more? It's not that we no longer enjoy company. It's not that we've grown cold or distant. It's that somewhere along the way, we simply got tired of pretending. I'm 70 years old now, and like many others, I once enjoyed the buzz of conversations, family dinners, community gatherings. I thrived on human connection. The warmth of people made life feel full. But one day, without warning, that changed. The phone that used to buzz with messages now sits quietly for hours. Sometimes I even turn it off for the whole day. And you know what? I no longer feel guilty about it. Some people say I've become cold, withdrawn, antisocial. But in truth, I've simply learned something important. More socializing doesn't always mean more connection. Some relationships, when dragged on too long, become mutual exhaustion. Turning 70 doesn't mean loneliness. It means I'm finally allowed to choose peace over pressure. 1. When we're young, we seek attention. When we're older, we protect our energy. In our younger years, socializing feels like a necessity. We want to be seen, liked, included, so we go out of our way to join circles, attend events, say yes to everything, just to belong. But with age, we start noticing something strange. The people we tried so hard to impress, most of them don't even remember the last time we called. You send messages, no reply. You make a friendly call, it's cut short with excuses. You show up for gatherings, only to hear surface-level chatter. That's when it hits you. Instead of investing energy in one-sided connections, why not spend that energy on a warm cup of tea, a good nap, or a quiet walk? At this age, you owe no one your enthusiasm. You don't need to chase validation or prove your loyalty. You simply need peace, and that peace often comes with stepping back. 2. Real friends don't need constant contact. Superficial bonds are just emotional debt. Some say, if you stop reaching out, people will forget you. But I've learned, true friendships don't depend on daily texts. The friends who matter. You can go months without talking, and yet when you reconnect, it feels like no time has passed. On the other hand, those who only message to ask for favors, likes, or participation, those are not friends. They are emotional creditors, collecting time and attention you can no longer afford to give. So now, I keep my connections simple. You show up, I welcome you. You leave, I let go. No expectations, no resentment. The best kind of relationship in our later years is the kind that asks for nothing, but offers comfort in silence. Row 3. I'd rather be alone than perform for a crowd. What hurts more than being alone? Feeling alone in a room full of people? I've been to reunions, neighborhood get-togethers, community games, but every time I return home, my heart feels emptier. People don't listen anymore. They compete. Whose children are more successful? Who bought more property? Who traveled further? The talk isn't about connection. It's about performance. So I stopped performing. I stopped forcing myself to attend events that leave me drained. I stopped pretending to laugh at things I didn't find funny. Now I find more joy in making a simple meal, listening to an old tune, or just sitting in the sun. That stillness, that gentle rhythm of life, that's my kind of peace. Lure 4. It's not that I hate socializing. It's that I've learned to choose what matters. In our youth, we fear missing out. In our age, we cherish what's worth staying for. I don't reject people. I just filter noise from meaning. A meaningful bond doesn't need noise. Sometimes, the best connection happens in shared silence. So I reply only to messages that feel sincere. I pick up calls from voices I want to hear. I listen not out of obligation, but because the conversation feels alive. At 70, socializing becomes less about quantity and more about depth. You stop needing attention. You start craving authenticity. You realize being alone doesn't mean being lonely. It means being clear about what fuels your heart. If you've ever felt this shift too, share your thoughts in the comments. Have you found peace in stepping back from certain circles? Or do you still feel pressure to stay involved? Let's talk about what growing older really means for our hearts, our minds, and our relationships. If today's story resonated with you, please give this video a like, subscribe for more, and share it with someone who needs this quiet reminder. You're not cold, you're just tired of noise. And that's okay. As we grow older, something shifts inside us. We begin to realize that the most comforting relationships are not the loudest, but the quietest, the ones that stay steady in the background, asking for nothing yet always there. When we were younger, we thrived on constant activity. Group chats, dinner invitations, non-stop updates on social media. We thought the more people we talked to, the more alive we were. But over time, we discover a quiet truth. The most valuable connections aren't the noisiest. They're the ones that bring you peace, not pressure. Rule 1. Gentle companionship. Lasts longer than loud togetherness. Have you noticed this? Some people always seem to be in the middle of a crowd, laughing, talking, being noticed. But when real trouble comes, they're often surrounded by silence. Meanwhile, those quiet friends, the ones you rarely hear from, turn out to be the ones who truly show up when you need them most. That's when you understand. It's not about how many people you know. It's about who you can count on. The friends who don't need constant attention, who never demand anything in return, but still show you care when it matters. Those are the ones to hold on to. Even if you only meet once a year, and even if you don't talk every week, you feel the bond is still alive. With age comes acceptance. Everyone lives their own life. In our youth, we believed close friends should be in touch constantly. Not texting for days felt like neglect. Not meeting for weeks felt like growing apart. But as you age, you begin to understand. Everyone is dealing with something. Families, health, work, aging parents, tired bodies. Not keeping in touch doesn't mean you're forgotten. It just means people are living their lives. And when there's real trust, you don't need constant check-ins. A friendship can sleep quietly for months and wake up warm as ever. That kind of non-intrusive connection is not cold. It's mature. It respects your time and your space, and it asks for nothing in return. More socializing isn't always better. The right amount is enough. Even in their later years, many people still feel pressure to be social. You see others traveling with friends, dining in groups, hosting parties, and deep down, you wonder, am I missing out? Should I be doing more too? But the truth is, socializing should feel like nourishment, not like a chore. Some people recharge in crowds. Others, like you, find peace in solitude, in a quiet moment, in a calm voice. And that's okay. There's no need to compare or compete. Social activity is not a performance. It's a reflection of your energy, your values, your needs. And your needs are valid, even if they look different from everyone else's. 4. The best relationships respect your rhythm. One of the greatest gifts of aging is clarity. You begin to see people, not as more or less social, but simply as different. Some are chatty, some are quiet, some reach out often, some only do so when something truly matters. Good relationships don't try to change that. They honor each person's rhythm, and the older you get, the more you learn to appreciate this quiet respect. No forced closeness, no guilt trips, just presence. When it's welcome, silence. When it's needed. That's not detachment. That's emotional wisdom, so maybe that's why, as people grow older, they stop chasing gatherings and start enjoying long walks, gentle mornings, and peaceful afternoons in the sun. These aren't signs of loneliness, they're signs of comfort with oneself. Have you felt this change too? Have you found yourself enjoying your own company more and needing external noise less? Leave a comment below. Let's talk about how our views on friendship evolve with time. And if this message brought you comfort, please like this video, subscribe to the channel, and stay with us as we continue exploring the quiet, meaningful moments of life. Throughout life, we're told what we should be doing. When we're young, we should be working hard, building careers, starting families. In middle age, we should support our parents, raise our children, keep everything in balance. Even in old age, we're expected to stay active, stay social, stay positive. But somewhere along the way, I realized something. I've spent my whole life trying to prove myself. Prove that I'm capable, prove that I'm useful, prove that I'm strong enough to handle it all. But what happens when you're tired and no one notices? What do you do when you fall silent and no one asks why? That's when I knew. It was time to stop pushing, time to let go, time to give myself permission to simply be. You're one. Letting go of strength is a quiet kind of bravery. In the past, no matter how hard life got, I held myself together. I smiled through pain, stayed calm through stress, because I thought being strong meant never breaking. But I've learned, true strength isn't pretending to be okay. It's knowing when to admit you're not. Letting go doesn't mean giving up. It means recognizing your limits. Now, if I feel tired, I rest. If I don't want to go out, I say no. If I'm uncomfortable, I allow myself to walk away. I no longer force myself to be positive all the time. I don't feel guilty for choosing comfort over performance. That, to me, is growth. When you stop chasing, you start breathing. There was a time I longed for appreciation. I wanted my children to call more, my friends to check in, the world to acknowledge that I still mattered. But with age, I've discovered, the more you chase, the more disappointed you become. So I stopped. I stopped expecting calls, stopped waiting on messages, stopped trying to earn applause. And you know what happened? I started breathing easier. I started living for myself, not for validation. Now I respond only when I want to. I give only what I can. I don't prove my love. I live it quietly. Dothry, some people will leave, some memories will fade. But life moves forward. One of life's hardest lessons is learning to let go. There were people I loved deeply who drifted away, moments I wanted to last forever that vanished too soon, hopes I held on too tightly that eventually slipped through my hands. At first, it hurts. You question everything. Was it my fault? Could I have done more? But eventually, you understand. Some things end because they're meant to. Not all doors are meant to stay open. Letting go doesn't erase the past. It just stops the past from weighing you down. You stop reopening old wounds. You stop chasing explanations. You stop asking for closure from people who are already gone. You simply carry the love and keep walking forward. So 4. True strength is found in accepting the ordinary. When we were younger, we wanted to be special, achieve more, own more, impress more. But with age comes a gentler wisdom. Most lives are ordinary, and that's okay. You don't need constant praise or attention. You don't need to win. You just need to wake up and live a life that feels peaceful. Drink your morning tea. Take that afternoon nap. Watch the sunset in silence. You don't have to prove anything anymore. You're allowed to just be. If you felt this shift too, from proving to accepting, from chasing to releasing, then you've probably grown in ways you never thought possible. Share your thoughts in the comments. Have you reached a point in life where peace feels more important than performance? If this story resonates with you, please give it a like, subscribe to the channel, and join us again as we explore the quiet power of letting go. Because growing older doesn't mean giving up. It means learning to live with softness and still stand tall. Over the years, we've been stirred by many things. A careless word could ruin our whole day. A single argument could linger in our minds for weeks. A disappointment could shake our confidence. A relationship could leave us exhausted and empty. But as we move into the later chapters of life, something begins to shift. We start to understand. Real strength doesn't come from being loud. It comes from staying calm when everything around you is chaotic. This kind of calm isn't something you're born with. It's something you learn after heartbreak, after loss, after realizing that fighting everything only drains you. Not arguing is a form of wisdom. In the past, we always wanted to win. Win the debate, win the blame game, win the right to be understood. We got upset easily, responded quickly, and rarely backed down. We believed that speaking louder would prove our point. But as we mature, we realize winning an argument rarely brings peace. In fact, it often creates distance. Now we choose silence over shouting. We choose walking away over walking into battles. Because we've learned, those who truly understand you need no explanation, and those who misunderstand you will likely never hear it anyway. 2. No longer explaining is a sign of inner clarity. When we were younger, we feared being misunderstood. We rushed to clarify our intentions, explain our words, fix every little misstep. But over time, we discover not every misunderstanding deserves our energy. Not every person is worth our emotional labor. You stop trying to prove you're a good person. You stop needing everyone's approval. You don't announce your pain. You simply heal it quietly. That's not weakness. That's inner peace. When your heart is clear, you no longer need permission to feel okay. 3. Not caring so much sets you free. We used to care about everything, what others thought of us, whether we were liked, whether we did enough, gave enough, impressed enough. But eventually, you learn. Not everything deserves your attention. Not every opinion matters. You stop carrying others' emotions on your back. You stop letting their silence make you feel small. You stop comparing your pace to someone else's race. You live for yourself now, gently, quietly, without needing to prove or please. 4. Real power is living peacefully on your own terms. True confidence isn't about being better than others. It's about not needing to compare at all. You don't seek the spotlight anymore.